Ambiguous requirements are so frustrating. If you've been given requirements that aren't clear, then you have to choose whether to guess or to send the requirements back for clarification. Guessing can lead to all sorts of pain. You make an assumption, then you build something that works, and then quality assurance will have a different interpretation, so you'll have to go back for a tiebreak anyway. Asking for clarification can take time too, and in the meantime your ticket is blocked and you're not getting any work done. And when you get the answer back, the ticket is even more complicated than when you started. How does this happen? Ambiguous requirements are caused by what is a standard choice of using English as a specification language. In some ways, natural language is a good choice for specifications because all of the stakeholders, users, and testers are typically natural speakers of the language. But actually, specifications can frequently have ambiguities that cause downstream problems if you let them linger. So you have some choices. You can guess. This is potentially the quickest way to solve your immediate problem. If you know the stakeholders well and have talked about the feature with them, perhaps you don't need to have a specific written specification to follow. But in any case, it's worthwhile writing down your assumptions so that they can later be challenged. In most software teams, there are several gates between where you write your code and where it goes to production, and you should be prepared to receive feedback from code review, from the test analysts, and from the users once the feature hits production, especially if it misses the brief. Typically, you'll find that ignoring an ambiguity and doing whatever will cause you to have to rework. Personally, I consider this to be a poor work practice and wasteful. If you ask for clarification and you do it carefully and systematically, you will be able to narrow down the requirement to a fine point, enough that you can deliberately implement it. It's important to ask for clarity on the main goal or the primary problem to solve and what success looks like. Oftentimes, tickets have acceptance criteria. Where I work, we use Cucumber for the specification language, which is almost like English, but in a structured form, which sets up some preconditions, an event, and then some verifiable effects after the event has occurred. The clearer these are, the less likely the developers, testers, and other stakeholders will disagree on the interpretation. Sometimes the ambiguity can arise simply because the requirements analyst isn't a developer, and so may not have understood all of the technical details you need to begin your implementation. If you're an intermediate developer, you want to get some technical guidance from one of the senior technical staff. But a good way to start that conversation is to write an implementation plan and ask for feedback. This does two things. It gives you a chance to practice your reasoning about build order, components, deployment, and software layout, and give the lead a head start when giving you the technical guidance. Again, prepare for feedback, but you'll be learning the technical requirements for your team and organization. As a final counterpoint, I want to talk a little bit about emergent requirements. These are requirements that become clear after you've started or even finished the implementation. Basically, my position is that if you are implementing software, you should understand that the context that you're living in is complex. In complex environments, there are unpredictable factors that you cannot account for ahead of time and then just have to engage with as part of the process of implementation. It's one of the reasons why the design process exists and is described as a process. So you have some humility, admit that some of the information wasn't available until you embarked on the process, and do your best to learn and adjust. To summarize, making assumptions will likely lead to rework. Be deliberate about seeking clarification, and be proactive about asking for technical clarification. Requirements will emerge regardless of what you do, and like or comment if this was helpful.